Yeah, the Elliots right here. We've been, of course, this year sharing so much about finances, and we're still continuing with the topic of finances. This is, of course, God and family. My family, my world. And definitely would love to take you through a beautiful season. Now, today specifically, we just want to be talking about finances, okay, for married couples, finances for married couples. So, as married couples, how do you handle finances? You know, that's a very key thing, and it's a key subject to be handled when you're married. And so I know people get married and then they often forget about finances. But if you've been before, of course, and you've been practicing, we thank God, we'll just keep reminding you so that you are up to date when it comes to your finances. So one of the things that we want to talk about is yes, how do you handle finances as married people? Now, I want us to be guided, of course, by scriptures. Let the scriptures speak to us and tell us clearly how do we handle finances when we get married. And so it is from Matthew 19, chapter 19, verse 5 to 6, which is very clear. Then it says, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and his mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. And the two will become one flesh." Now, that's the place I wanted us to begin to talk about. So, marriage is interesting that when you get married, you no longer become two. So, one plus one in the philosophy of marriage, according to God, is one. Okay, one plus one is one. And that is the mystery that is in this marriage. Okay, and now it's very complex. And God says, you become one flesh. So you have become one. Now, that means if that is the level of complexity of the flesh being one, that means if you can physically get married, then even your finances must get married. Your finances have to get married. And so in marriage, everything will have to be married. Okay? As husband and wife, once you are married, whatever the husband has and whatever the wife has will all get married. Whether it is debt, whether it is a house, whatever it is. If it is a land, it is a property, if it is a business, if it is so in marriage, there's nothing like mine. It becomes ours. So that word mine needs to be excluded of once you get married. The word is going to be ours. Often between husband and wife, it is ours because you have become one flesh. And then everything else will have to be married to. And so this has been repeated. This same verse started right in Genesis 2:24. And we saw the consistency. In Matthew 19, 5 to 6, we see the same thing. But also in Ephesians 5:31, we also see the same thing. And so there has been consistency in this aspect. I will not talk about the aspect of the man will leave the father and the mother. That's not the text that I want to focus on. But I will talk about that at a later point. I just want to focus specifically on the oneness. And so yes, because now the flesh is one and everything is one, let's zoom out the subject of finance. So finance must be looked at in one direction. So husband and wife must get married, even financially. The complexity is most times people don't want to get married materially. They want to get married in the physical, but their material thing still remains for each individual. And that's why there is a common phrase that is being said, but I want to dismiss it today, that most times you hear the word people say, most especially women practice that a lot. And I'm just saying, and because they say, my money is mine, but your money is our money. That's what normally they say. But today I want to dismiss that officially, that There's nothing like my money is mine and your money is ours. It is our money, okay? Because again, the Bible is clear. The Bible says uh, in Genesis 2:18 that the wife is a suitable helper. When you find a suitable helper. Okay, so she's been brought into your life as a suitable helper. That means even the finances that she will generate or whatever that she will do is still intended. It's still completely intended to help you. So where does she help? She helps you in areas of weaknesses. She helps you in areas. So if she is a working class, if she's doing something or she's earning some sort of income, she has come. That is part of the help we're talking about. That's part of the help we're talking about. So well, that's not again an area that I want us to dive into. I'm just trying to tell you why it is key to have finance together as a couple, because it's one angle that the enemy battles with its fullness. Sometimes you can find in other areas, in marriages, you have become one. But when it comes to finances or property, you choose to divide you choose to change your mind. You choose to stay independently. You choose to stay divorced when it comes to property. And the Bible still goes ahead. The reason I'm giving you these scriptures is so that you know that these things we're talking about is biblical. It says in Amos 3:3, it says, do two walk together unless they have agreed to meet or to work together. Okay, how can the two work together if they don't agree? Okay, for them to work together, they must agree. So now that means even to succeed financially, remember we've just talked about budgeting, but we have also talked about New Year resolution. And so now we're still focusing on ensuring that you keep the track. And we're saying you cannot do all those things. And then when it reaches to having the same finance, you are not together. So as we keep proving this, as we keep telling you the revelation that comes from this finance from the Bible, we want to tell you now what to do. So how then what could be the best practice for you as husband and wife when it comes to finances? Okay, we are going to run on this, and I want you to focus on this specific point. One of the first things for you to be successful financially as husband and wife is for two of you to create one joint account. Create one joint account. Husband and wife, ensure you have a joint account. Now, having a joint account means its ability to pull your resources together. So now that one account will help you, okay, to do all the things that you want to do, because that's the main account. Now, this brings about transparency. This brings about willingness, okay? Husband and wife should agree. So when you create a joint account, pull your resources together. When you pull your resources together, then you can plan for the resources according to your total income within that specific period. It could be within a month, it could be within a week, it could be within, I don't know. But at least you plan what you have brought together, because the resources you have brought together will have weight more than if each of you is just using according to how they want to use it. Now, when you pull it together, then you plan together. So you bring it in the joint account. When you bring it in the joint account, that's when you go to do your budgeting. Okay? So it should be a discipline. Now, this still brings us to the topic of transparency. Your husband, your wife, let your husband know every source of income that you have. Okay? And you must be transparent to it. That's what Genesis 2:25 talks about. It says, the man and the wife were both naked and they were not ashamed of themselves. So what was it trying to say? It is trying to tell you that that there's no secret when it comes to finances. There's no secret when it comes to marriage. So don't keep it. By the way, the enemy often wants to use, okay? Because the finance that you don't account for, I want to assure you, it is the one that will take you into problems. Okay? That's the one that you are going to misuse. That's the one you are going to use for paying someone's rent, that someone someone possibly who is now your side chick, someone who is possibly you are funding them. Okay, those are the finances. But so you don't need to keep any money secret. So disclose your pay slip. Tell your wife how much you earn. Bring it on table. If salaries are going to delay, if whatever income you earn is going to delay, you still notify them. You let them know. Okay, the same thing happens. If there is any deduction, any promotion in all these aspects, you ensure you still keep them informed. So bringing the money in the same account gives you the ability to plan and to know how much you have and what you can do with all the resources that you have within that specific period of time. So it is a key thing, and I advise, if possible, that should be what you should be thinking. So the second thing is we're saying discuss finance together on regular basis. You must discuss finance together. It's a very difficult subject, we know. Most men and women don't discuss finances. People just live. They don't talk about their income. They don't talk about money. People are scared when it comes to subject of money. You want to discuss money, they want to talk about how much I earn, you want to talk about how we should earn, you want to talk about these things. Immediately people begin to fight in the house. People begin to disagree. Why? Because it's one of the things the enemy has mastered. He has mastered it and he's a master at it. And he wants to battle every family for that. And so to overcome it, discuss these things more oftenly. Ensure that your finances are 100% being discussed. Bring it on table. Talk about your fears, your financial fears. Talk about the things you fear about finance. Talk about the things that you believe that you don't know about finance. Discuss finance. That's what I mean. Just set time off to discuss. Sometimes when you go for date, I wonder what husband and wife discuss sometimes. Okay, but this should be some of the things that we should be discussing. Not every date is just for no. Some dates must be fruitful. That means you discuss more important things, and that's the reason why you should be dating more frequently, because you need to understand your finances. You also need to understand a lot more beyond just finances. But for this specific one, we are zeroing on finances. Then we are saying also you must set financial priorities together. Don't set finances alone. In marriage, both husband and wife must accept to set finances together. Okay, priorities. So priority is dependent on what you want to achieve as couples. What do you want to do with your money? What is your immediate priority for a specific period of time or for that specific season? What do you want to do with your finances? Okay, and these priorities must be without any kind of personal interest. Okay, it shouldn't be because of personal interest or saying so and so is now becoming is now overriding me. Is now trying to no. What I'm saying is this simple. Let's give an example. So if your priority is about buying land, let the priority be land. All of you must agree. But we have experienced situations where husband is saying we buy land and the wife is saying no, we buy a car. Or the reverse is true. Those are different financial priorities. Okay, and another one is saying let's leave this rental. Let's stay in this rent, and we stay around senior quarters. Another one is saying no, we cannot stay in senior quarters. Let's go. Let's stay right in the middle of the city, in town. Okay. And so I'm giving it to the context of Gulu, but I know at your various contexts, you must understand what I'm talking about. So these are the things now. So when you're making these priorities, it shouldn't be just for your taste. Number one, your priorities should be informed by how much you have pulled together. It is not about who has brought how much. Again, that should not be the case, because there's instances where the one who thinks is bringing more resources on table tends to have more say, tends to think that his or her ideas are the most priorities. No, it's not about that. Okay, and this will tell you that you must do things together. Okay, another one is saying, let's start a business. Others is saying, no, 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 we cannot start a business. Okay, let's first start, let's first buy a car. No, you must agree. If you start a business without your wife in agreement, I want to assure you that business is going nowhere. Okay, we have had these phrases, we have had these instances where the man fails. When the business fails, the wife says, I told you, I told you. And she becomes happy because the business has failed. Now, this is just a sign that you are not doing priorities together. So there must be priorities when it comes to finances. You must make financial priorities together according to what you definitely have in your account. Then I'm also saying the other thing is definitely for you to set a budget. You must set a budget. Yeah, to continue with this very video and to continue about the same topic in this finance, just make sure you watch the next video.